Good evening. It's 6 o'clock on Saturday, the 24th of June, 2017. Welcome and thank you for joining us tonight for the English edition of Aura News, where we bring you today's top stories translated into English every weeknight. Of course, tonight it's all about the impending election. First up this evening, an announcement was made today by the Vice Prime Minister's press office regarding the government's task force to set up the review for the electoral process. The government's task force has approved the plan for measures to be taken tomorrow for the parliamentary elections. The task force will monitor and coordinate different complaints referred by the political parties or citizens on election day. The director of the task force, the Prime Minister, Ledina Mandia, has encouraged the citizens to report cases where employees of the public administration are involved in the electoral process and assures the privacy of identities for citizen whistleblowers. During a meeting held by the task force on tomorrow's election, a complaint raised to the task force was reviewed and the determination made to refer the matter to the police directory for further investigation of the case. The task force has set up an online portal for citizens to denounce electoral violations. It is accessible via the official webpage of the Prime Minister's office. The Vice Prime Minister expressed her determination to implement the law and gave assurance to act with no tolerance towards any reported case. The Vice Prime Minister urged citizens to report cases of administration employee or state police involvement in any illegal activity on election day or during the vote counting process. This can be done by using the aforementioned online portal or by calling the report hotline on 068 80 444 33. That number again, 068 80 444 33. The Minister of Interior, Dritan Demirai, the Albanian State Police Director, Haki Chako, then the Prosecutor General, Adriatic Laja. Sorry, Interior Dritan Demirai, the Albanian State Police Director Haki Chako and the Prosecutor General Adriatic Laja today issued the last piece of guidance for the electoral process. The officials issued the message that the implementation of the law is a priority for state police employees. The Minister of Interior has called on police officers to follow the law, to guarantee the sanctity of the electoral process and to protect the Albanian citizens. The State Police Director held a special meeting today in order to advise police employees. He asked police employees to be correct while doing their duty and asked for the citizens' cooperation. In a media outlet, the State Police Director said that the State Police will perform their duty with objectivity, while adding that necessary measures have been undertaken to sustain a calm election process. Citizens should report any observed illegal activities and police must perform their tasks responsively as they will be closely observed by the task force. Meanwhile, the Prosecutor General has issued special instructions to local prosecutions. The Prosecutor General of the Republic of Albania has instructed the Judicial District Prosecutor's officers to draft the readiness services to oversee the progress of the parliamentary electoral process in Albania, taking place on Sunday, the 25th of June, 2017. Based on continuous contact by the Prosecutor General, district prosecutors have established a special readiness structure to operate from today, June 24, to Monday, June 26, composed of prosecutors and judicial police at the district prosecutor. The Prosecutor General Laja highlighted the importance of cooperation between law enforcement structures, as well as accurate orientation of inquiries regarding any potential criminal issues related to the process. Judicial District Prosecutors have informed the Prosecutor General that they are dynamically conducting procedural actions on criminal reports submitted during the electoral campaign. The special structures of readiness will be in function for Sunday and Monday. The readiness structures are made up of prosecutors and officers of judicial police from the section of prosecution. The prosecution has also drafted a plan to coordinate quickly in the case of any possible problem. The Prosecutor General will have continuous communication with the leader of the task force, the Vice Prime Minister, over the coming days. The The chairman of the Central Election Commission has called on all commissioners to engage accordingly for a fair electoral process. In a media outlet, the CEC Chairman said that the Central Election Commission will not tolerate those who destroy the electoral process. The election process is more important than any individual party. Commissioners and vote counters will be on duty and in service to the law, not to the political parties. Guaranteeing complete support to commissioners at all levels, I want to warn that the Central Election Commission will not tolerate anyone who will try to violate the successful development and conclusion of the electoral process. The Central Election Commission will punish any action taken by commissioners or vote counters that is in objection of their duty. Violation of the Electoral Code brings serious legal consequences. On behalf of the Central Election Commission, I am asking the law implementation bodies to pay special attention to preventing incidents. Democracy is participation. The bigger the participation, the stronger the democracy. I am calling on all citizens to massively participate in voting and to exert in complete freedom their constitutional right to vote, the CEC Chairman declared. 3,452,260 Albanian people are eligible to vote tomorrow in the 5,362 voting centres. 2,666 candidates are registered for the parliamentary election. The election will be monitored by 5,351 observers, 896 of whom are international observers. Speaking of the observers, a day before the election day, the Coalition of Local Observers publicised its findings for the electoral campaign. The Coalition of Local Observers noticed that the political parties have not made public any documents outlining electoral promises, and add that the campaign was dominated by political leaders and not by policies. The Coalition of Local Observers have positively praised the task force established by the government to monitor the inclusion of administration in elections, even though the coalition says that the transparency of the task force was problematic, resulting in a low number of denouncements by citizens, despite the legal basis being critical. The Coalition of Local Observers emphasises that even though the parties reached an agreement on May 18, their campaign did not focus on the citizens or the party's policies. The Coalition of Local Observers called on the political parties and their candidates to make the source of their funds transparent in order to guarantee a transparent campaign. The Coalition of Domestic Observers appeals for citizens to distance themselves from any form of electoral tampering, including vote purchasing, and also demands party militants distance themselves from any form of electoral corruption. As election day this year coincides with Eid-al Fitr, the head of the Muslim community, Skanderbeg Square, felt the need to call on believers to exert their right to vote. The head of the Muslim community issued an appeal to citizens and politicians, saying that Albania is for everyone, no matter an individual's political or religious convictions. Muslim believers tomorrow observe the end of an important month, the holy month of Ramadan. The head of the Muslim community says that Eid-al Fitr is a day to be closer to each other. Eid-al Fitr is a day for relieving worries, the day for new hope, the day for understanding each other, the day to be closer to the elderly, the needy, and those who need our attention. On this day, we should all exert our right to vote. We should not forget that we are all brothers, regardless of the election result. Albania is ours, without political or religious convictions. The responsibility for the development and stability of the country lies upon all of us. Happy Eid-al Fitr, and may God bless you all, said Bruchai. Eid-al Fitr is the celebration that Muslim believers hold after a month of fasting. It is important for Muslim believers to offer money or food to the needy as a way of ensuring the day is a celebration for everyone. Tomorrow is an important day, not only because it is election day, but also because Muslim believers celebrate Eid-al Fitr. This year, the gathering of Muslim prayer for Eid-al Fitr will be held at Skanderbeg Square, after having held the prayers at the main boulevard for many years. Muslim believers last held their mass prayer at Skanderbeg Square back in 2009. This year, the 16,000 metres of Skanderbeg Square will be at the Muslim believers' disposal. The final preparations are being made to the square to ensure readiness for tomorrow morning's prayer. Tirana's mayor, Erion Veliai, declared that everything will be ready for tomorrow's prayer by early morning. Tirana's mayor also announced that the underground parking at the square will be free of charge for all Muslim believers from 5 to 7 o'clock in the morning. He took the opportunity to congratulate all believers for Eid-al Fitr. He stated that he considers the month of Ramadan to be a time of solidarity and sacrifice for all people. The morning prayer for Eid-al Fitr will start tomorrow at 5:30 a.m. After the conclusion of the prayers, the square will be reopened and free to be used by all citizens. That's all for our English edition this evening. Please join us again Monday through Saturday at 6 p.m. for your local news in English. My name is Alexandra, and on behalf of Aura News, thank you and good night.